about Speedway is that it's always surprising. This week we've gone all rustic and rural. We're here for the first ever Slovenian Grand Prix. I'm Julia Bradbury. It's hot, there's corn, and there's going to be action. Beautiful Slovenia, lush green and covered in trees. Half the country is forest. The location of this week's GP is Krško in the southeast of the country. Coming up on today's show, the lovely 97 world champ Greg Hancock talks me through a new improved Slovenian circuit. We have, of course, got all the scintillating action from round 4, and what a scorcher it was. The temperature soared to 38 degrees centigrade, and the riders were on fire as well. Well, the Matija Gubert Stadium is new to the GP series, but it's a familiar track for many of the riders, including 97 world champ Greg Hancock. Greg, they've made a lot of changes, haven't they, since it became part of the GP circuit?
Yeah, I mean, to say the least, they've been working hard here for the last, I should say the last 12 months especially, but for the last couple of years in hopes that they'd get a Grand Prix. And I mean, I came here for the Grand Prix Challenge last year and saw vast improvements to the grandstand, to the pit facilities, parking, everything. The place looks great, and of course they were awarded a Grand Prix, so here we are. Let's
talk about the track a little bit. It looks pretty familiar. It looks very similar to Bydgoszcz. Is it? Does it race the same?
You know what, it's every track has its own sort of style, its own design, its shape, whatever you want to say, and this one is a little bit square-shaped, as Bydgoszcz is, but it rides a little bit more round. You know, the corners turn a little bit hard going in, but you can kind of let the bike run, and it seems that even in the practice sessions, you see a lot of guys, they turn quite late coming out of the corners, so yeah. The track draws you that way. So the trick is on a track like this is to try to make your turns in spots that you wouldn't actually ride it the way it looks, the way it appears, and
right.
That's going to be the fast line. It's not a track like Bydgoszcz where you get 3 racing lines into the corner or a couple coming out. Once you commit yourself, you're there. It's not a lot of
hard all the way.
Yeah, and you can't afford to make sudden turns because you lose a lot of your momentum, and of course you lose speed and watch the guys go away from you.
Now you've had success here. Last year you won your GP challenge here. So are you feeling good about tonight?
I feel really good. Practice yesterday went extremely well for me. I felt comfortable. My bikes felt really good. Of course, fond memories always help to stimulate yourself and get the confidence.
Go for the win again.
Yeah, I'm ready to do that and just keep clawing away at it. You know, it's I think as a good friend referred to it as trying to eat an elephant. You can never eat it all in one go.
No.
The best thing to focus on now is my own personal form. Get my consistency there going and start to improve and be ready for the World Championship again next year, really. All right, thanks a lot, you guys, and, you know, enjoy the show.
It wasn't just the track that got baked by the freak Slovenian heatwave. The riders felt the heat, too. There was plenty of huffing and puffing, and keeping hydrated was the name of the game. Stepping into layers of protective clothing and those tight race suits in temperatures that reached over 100 degrees Fahrenheit wasn't going to be fun. But then Speedway isn't about fun. So, Jason, the heat here is going to make a big impact, isn't it, on the riders?
I'm sure on some of them, but being Australian, I'm pretty well used to it. You know, we race all day in Australia in heat like this, so I'm ready for it.
What sort of difference does it make to the setup of the bike, though?
You know, obviously the carburetion's a bit different in this heat, but again, we had practice yesterday, and I think we've got it pretty well how we need it.
Let's just take a look back at Cardiff for a moment. It was the time that you haven't finished in the final in your last 8 GP starts. What happened there?
A few things, really, you know, probably all just put together on the day, and I wasn't at my best, and unfortunately, if you're not at your best at a Grand Prix, it shows, and I certainly need to be here tonight to try and make the Final 4.
Someone else who wasn't at his best in Cardiff was our Mr. Golub. He had bike trouble, so to help combat the gremlins, enter Mrs. Golub. So, Thomas, is this where you're going to be racing on tonight?
Yeah, this is my new bike. Yeah? It's very fast.
I think you've got more of a chance, maybe, hey?
Oh, this moment is okay. This track is change bikes.
Okay, how's the track looking out there? Is it similar to Bydgoszcz in any way?
Yes, this track is small different in Bydgoszcz. Yeah, it's the same consistent and quick. And Corona is maybe the same. It's a little grippy. I think this track I like.
So it's good for you, suited for you?
Maybe.
Okay, well, we'll watch with bated breath. Good luck tonight.
Thanks.
We'll speak to you later. Thanks so much. Another rider licking his wounds after a disappointing and frustrating GP in Cardiff was Tony Rickardsson. He didn't make it to the final either, and that is unusual. Will he keep his cool this time out? So, Tony, looking forward to Slovenia?
Yeah, sure do. You know, it's a little bit hot here, but I think it's the same for everybody, and I feel I've prepared pretty well. You know, I've been drinking a lot of water, and yeah, I'm kind of ready.
Crumpy was saying that the Australians have got a bit of an advantage because they're used to racing in this heat. Do you think that's right?
I don't know. Well, wait and see how well they do.
You've been feeling a bit under the weather this week, is that right? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm still on the antibiotics, you know, but my mood is on top because I feel I'm getting better and better for every day now, and no, I'm feeling ready.
What about Cardiff? Were you disappointed not to make the final in Cardiff? How did that make you feel?
Oh yes, I was disappointed about that, but you know, that's all forgotten now, and now we're here at the new GP, so we'll try to make it today instead.
Nice hairdo as well. Why the change? You were just bored, were you?
No, it was blonde before I had it red, so I was back to blonde again.
I'm feeling out, you know, I'm going to have to change my hair every week now to keep up with all you Speedway riders.
That's right, you got to do it.
Good luck tonight, Tony.
Thank you.
He didn't change his hair, but he emerged from Wales triumphant after taking his first GP title from the rear. So is Cardiff still on Ryan Sullivan's mind, or has he got his sights set on bigger things now?
Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago, so you know, there's another Grand Prix round today and more pressure again, and I'm here to do another job.
Do you think you can beat Tony tonight?
I'm just here to beat all the riders here, so and he's just one of them.
So not selective in your choice, you'll just take them all?
No, you know, it's I guess we're both even on points, but I'm just going there. This, as it showed last Grand Prix, it's only 12 points and we're 15 points in front. You can catch it up in one meeting, so you can't afford to get complacent about anyone.
After round 4, it's anyone's championship. Tony Rickardson now shares the #1 spot with the very focused Ryan Sullivan. The third slot is filled by not 1, not 2, but 3 riders: Jason Crump, Thomas Gollop and Michael Carlson. Let's remind ourselves of how the GP format works. 24 riders compete head-to-head over 25 heats. If you want to be a high roller in this game, you've got to finish first or second in the prelims and the Sweet 16s. The stakes are high. If a rider comes third or fourth twice, then he's off home with his chips in his bag. Once a rider reaches the Super 8s, it's all about getting a good finish to stack up on those GP points. Gate positions are now determined by a draw. This has left the table wide open. If you need any help, then please log on to www.speedwaygp.com. So, with the action hotting up here in Slovenia, let's go over to Ben Edwards and see who's cooking in the prelims.
Well, Julia, Greg Hancock showed you round earlier, and he faced a tight battle with fellow American Billy Hamill in Heat 2, with Billy just taking the decision. But there was disappointment for the local crowd when both Slovenian runners, Ferjan and Santei, were eliminated as early as Heat 5. The second eliminator of the night saw bad luck for Britain's Carl Stonehewer as his chain came off and put him out of the event, his worst finish in 16 Grand Prix.
So Stoney, another early exit. What happened?
I just turned it really hard on the first corner and he just spat a chain off. It wouldn't be so bad, you know, if it was nearer home, but it's such a long way home, and I don't know whether to stay and have a beer or get in the van and just shoot straight off.
David, stay and have a beer. It'd be better for you, I think. You can get some sun tomorrow.
I'll be in a great state tomorrow.
Andreas Jonsson took his second win of the night in Heat 7, but with second place, Greg Hancock made it to the Sweet 16 for the first time this year, despite the debilitating heat of Slovenia. Scott Nichols was a tumbler in Heat 8, but Billy Hamill and Rune Holter qualified for the Sweet 16. Meanwhile, in the pits, problems for Tony Rickardson. The engine on his favoured bike failed while being warmed up, forcing Tony to use his backup machine in Heat 9. And that Heat 9 race was one that saw Cardiff race winner Ryan Sullivan dive ahead at the start. Brilliant start once again for the Australian, but Rickardson could only manage third place in this race. Todd Wiltshire ran out of time to make the start of Heat 10. He experimented with both bikes, and then the silencer fell off on the machine he'd chosen to ride, and he was out of time to make the start. In the race itself, a ding-dong battle developed between Jason Crump and Michael Carlson. It saw the Swedish rider make a copycat manoeuvre to take the victory over the Australian.
So Mikey had a bit of a ding-dong with Crumpy there.
And that was a hard race. Harder than I expected, actually.
I guess shifting around like that must get your adrenaline pumping and stuff.
Yeah, and that's good. That's what I need, a bit of a kick up the backside and make me work hard.
Scott Nichols did not get off the line well in Heat 11, and as it was an eliminator, it meant an early bath, preferably a cold one.
So Scott, you got your back over your shoulder, you're going home.
Yes, earlier than I really wanted to. Things had sort of gradually, step by step, got better, but I suppose it's inevitable at some point you're possibly going to have a backward step, and today appears to be the day for it, so hopefully, you know, we can just get my act together for the next one.
You had a bit of bad luck as well, didn't you, on the ramp with one of Rico's mechanics? Went into your leg quite badly.
Yes, just I was turning off the track, just about to go up the hill, and he come flying down, and I sort of turned to try and miss him, but he just rode straight into my ankle, so I'm sure it's not broken or anything, but it's not an excuse. It hurts, but at the end of the day...
A little bit peeved?
Totally.
It looked like Andy Smith might also be joining him to be heading home. A faller in heat number 12, but on the restart he managed second place behind Nicky Pedersen, who's made it into the Sweet 16 for the first time this year. So out of the competition from the prelims, 2 Brits, both Slovenians, 2 Poles, a Hungarian and a Swede. But for once the Soldane has made it through.
I'm just happy, you know, I'm getting into the main event now and everything can happen now. It's just been so hard for me the last 3 meetings, so I'm there now and then I have to carry on.
Okay, well, we'll see. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, well, join us after the break, see whether Nicky makes it through to the next stage and what else is going on in the Sweet 16s. It's bound to be exciting.
A storm is brewing. The world's greatest Speedway stadium is ready. It's finally coming to Australia. The final round of the FIM World Speedway Grand Prix, October 26th at Stadium Australia. No brakes, no gears, no fear. 24 riders from around the world competing for the 2002 World Speedway Championship. October 26th at Stadium Australia. Call Ticketek now. They'll sell you a whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Hi, I'm Julia Bradbury. Welcome back to Speedway Grand Prix. Coming up now, we've got the Sweet 16s, and Andy Smith, the Brit, is going up against the galloping Staniel Ryan Sullivan. Here's Sam Malenko and Ben Edwards with all the action.
Thanks, Julia. Yeah, it's the first heat of the main event this evening, and Ryan Sullivan, joint championship leader, lines up in red on the inside. In blue alongside him, fellow Australian Todd Wiltshire. Andreas Jonsson, the young Swede, is in white, and Britain's Andy Smith up on the outside in yellow. It's only the second time this season Andy's been into the main event. Let's see how far he can get this time. Away they go. It's a great start from the inside. That's Ryan Sullivan in red. Todd Wiltshire's in blue. But watch Andreas Jonsson trying to go around the outside, but no. In fact, Andy Smith cuts into third, and here comes Jonsson again trying to go into second.
Yeah, Andreas Jonsson went straight for that dirt line right now, and he's now paying the price because they're all kind of up the inside of him, and Todd's made a good pass on him. Ryan's right out in front right now, but here comes Andreas back up the inside and did a great move.
Yeah, Wiltshire's made a mistake, and Andy Smith's gone through into third as well. So for Todd Wiltshire, was second in Cardiff, remember. Runner-up to the man out in front here, Ryan Sullivan. Oh, Wiltshire really dropping away at the back. So the battle for second now is between Andreas Jonsson and Andy Smith.
And Andy Smith's got to do a lot of work now to catch up with Andreas, but Ryan's looking really good out in front then, Ben.
Yeah, Ryan Sullivan, very strong at the moment. Second in Norway, of course, fifth in Poland. He won last time out in Cardiff, his first ever Grand Prix win, and he's starting off tonight extremely quickly. Andy Smith, this isn't an eliminator, remember, but third place here will put him into an eliminator next time out. Ryan Sullivan's coming through. He's going to take the first win of the main event this evening. Good ride that from him. Andreas Jonsson finishes in second. So Ryan Sullivan, the 27-year-old, hitting a great vein of form at the moment, winning that heat ahead of Andreas Jonsson. But of course, Andy Smith and Todd Wiltshire will face elimination next time out.
Todd, you went from second to fourth out there.
Yeah, I had some bike problems.
Yeah, I saw. What went wrong?
Carburetion's not running right, so
looking into it now?
yeah, just trying to get it fixed, yeah.
How's the heat? How are you coping?
Yeah, I'm all right. It's not bad being in Australia in conditions like this.
This time round, a restart not down to an over-anxious rider, but a less than nimble-footed cameraman. A protruding lens touched the tapes, and the ref called them back in heat 14. Here's Ben with the restart.
Well, let's try again. It's heat 14 coming up. On the inside, in red, is Jason Crump. In blue, it's Tony Rickardson. In white, it's Billy Hamill. And Chris Gelski on the outside in yellow. Well, let's see what's going to happen here. Crump versus Rickardson, always a tremendous battle. Away they go. Jason Crump in red gets away brilliantly. Rickardson pushed down to third. In fact, it might even be fourth here. No, squeezing back through. Rickardson trying to get past Gelski, but he can't quite do it. The Polish rider into second, and Billy Hamill's at the back.
I don't think their nerves have quite settled down, and Jason Crump's out in front now, but Cegelski did his best move there, and now they just got to work hard, and Tony Rickardsson is now pushing. He's going to have to do something here if he wants to clamp position in the next race comfortably.
Rickardsson trying to go around the outside, the 4 times world champion trying to show Cegelski the way to do it, but at the moment Cegelski's doing well. He's got through the prelims for the first time this year and he wants to make the most of it.
This track is being very useful for the guys to move around. Look at Cegelski looking at all different directions trying to hold off Tony. Tony's going really wide right now. Can he do something on the outside? Looks like he's just going to get him. He's going to cut back on the inside.
Well, Jason Crump's enjoying a fairly comfortable lead at the moment, but what about Tony Rickardsson? Now's his chance, but he just pulls a bit of air. Can he get past Cegelski? Trying to make the move. Looks like he should have it done as they come round out of the final corner, but he's made a bit of a mistake. Cegelski comes back at him. Wow, what a result at the end there. Jason Crump takes an easy win in the end because such a battle going on for second. Well, let's just take a look at that result. Crump the winner, Cegelski second, and that means, of course, Rickardsson faces elimination in his next heat.
I needed to get fired up. The first race got me going, and now I'm here to have a go, and I'm here to do the business.
There was lots of stuff going on behind you. Did you catch anything? Or?
Just trying to see where I was going.
And you were shaking hands with Cegelski there?
Yeah, great ride for Christoph, you know, good for Team Nielsen, so hopefully he can continue it, and so can I.
Yeah, it was good for Team Nielsen, but right here, Tony Rickardsson's having problems with this bike, and he's aware of it now, and he throws his arm up to let the other riders know that he's having difficulties.
What about your performance in the last heat?
We had a crash in the pits with the bike, so we bent up the frame on the bike, and hopefully it's going to be straight enough to ride in the next race. I'm going to try it then and see how it goes.
Scott, I bring you news. Well, all I can tell you is that you bent Rico's bike because that's what he's blaming for not performing so well in his last heat.
Well,
they had to hammer it into shape.
Well, good job. Tell these Martians they should look where they're going then instead of wearing stupid earphones.
Okay.
I'm not bitter.
Well, that encounter of an alien kind has sadly meant to confirm broken ankle for Scott Nichols, and that's a great shame for him. Let's move on to heat number 15 now, and on the inside in red, it's Lee Adams. In blue, it's Tomasz Golob. In white, it's Greg Hancock. And up on the outside, it's Nicky Pedersen into the main event for the first time this year, and that's pretty remarkable.
It is. I sense no weak links in these Grand Prix series as they start boiling up for the main events, and the start goes.
So it's Lee Adams from the inside. Is he going to get into the first corner ahead? Well, he looks as though he has. Tomasz Golob trying to go with him, and Golob going round the outside. Oh, and it's the battle of back here for Greg Hancock and Nicky Pedersen for third as well. What a tremendous tussle at both ends, but it is Tomasz Golob ahead of Lee Adams, and Golob riding brilliantly.
Is this guy skillful or what? This guy really knows how to ride these tracks really wide and high, and he just shows how to do it, and Lee Adams has no answer for Tomasz Golob, looking really good.
Remember, Golob is third in the championship. He won in Poland. A victory here in Slovenia would really boost his championship hopes, and at the moment he's looking good, but look at this battle for third, going on between Hancock and Pedersen.
Yeah, both of them are really trying to get that third place right now, and it looks like Greg Hancock's got the best of Nicky, but out in front right now, Tomasz Golob looking great.
It's Lee Adams in second place at the moment. He's been in one final and twice in the semi-finals, but he can't do anything about this man. Tomasz Golob, surely he's going to win this heat number 15, and still that battle for third, but I think Greg Hancock will take third from Nicky Pedersen. Golob can afford to relax a little bit. He takes victory in heat number 15. A good win that over Lee Adams in second place. So Tomasz Golob, a winner already this evening as he tries to back up that win in Poland earlier this year. Second place for Lee Adams. Greg Hancock and Nicky Pedersen will face elimination in their next races. Great ride that for Tomasz Golob though. Let's see what he can do for the rest of the evening.
Here's a look at that start again. Lee Adams up the inside, reaching hard. Greg Hancock on 3, trying to get over Tomasz Golob, but Thomas just squeezes through here, trying to get that position to come off that corner. Lee is concentrating up on the inside, and Nicky's cutting back. It's looking really good, but here it is. It's just routine for this guy, Tomasz Golob, but look at that. It's poetry in motion as he just goes by, looking really sharp.
Looks fantastic, this Tomasz Golob, and when he's fired up in this sort of mood, he really takes some beating. So we move on towards heat number 16. This is the last heat of the first round of the main event. Michael Carlson is in red on the inside. Mark Laram is in blue. Then it's Rune Holter in white. And up on the outside, the 21-year-old Czech Lucas Drummel. Going well this evening. And we'll see what he can manage in this 16th heat. Away they go. Michael Carlson trying to make the best of the inside gate in red. It's Mark Laram, Britain's Mark Laram in blue, trying to go around the outside, but now almost contact between him and Lucas Drimmel. And now Drimmel and Rune Holte battling for third.
Yeah, they got a battle of their own back there, but out in front right now is Michael Carlson. He's a tough rider. He knows where to go, and so does Mark Laram. Now let's see who can make the best of this racetrack. It's actually a tailor-made track for a guy like Mark Laram, and Michael Carlson. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, Carlson twice has finished third already this year in Norway and in Cardiff. Mark Laram, though, having a good spate of form at the moment, but he's passed there by Lucas Drimmel. And Lucas Drimmel, a very exciting young rider to watch.
Yeah, Mark's got to watch the inside again. One more time, Lucas goes by him, and the race is on.
Well, it's great stuff. Laram using all his experience, the 2000 world champion, needing every ounce of effort here to try and fend off Lucas Drimmel. Michael Carlson up front, yet to win a Grand Prix, but starting this one off well in Slovenia. Still this battle going on between Laram and Drimmel.
Yeah, Mark Laram, I think, has learned his lesson. He's staying down low now, just trying to hug that inside, because that's where he's sneaking by old Drimmel. So here goes Michael Carlson the win.
Carlson takes the victory. Laram does take second place after a tremendous battle with Lucas Drimmel. Rune Holte, the Norwegian, at the back of the group there. So that means that Carlson and Laram in good shape, but Drimmel and Holte will face elimination in their next races. So Mark Laram, the man from Stowmarket, in good shape this evening.
You must be pleased then.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it was a struggle. You know, wasn't coming off the corners very quick, so I'm going to change bikes. That one's quick at the end of the straight, but not off the corners. So
Everybody's having trouble with their bikes though tonight. The power's a problem with the heat, I think.
That's it. The heat saps the engine off, and it's such a big track, and there's a fair bit of dirt on it. So, well, in places, and it makes it hard work.
And you're sweating a lot.
I am sweating.
But you're not on your own.
No.
Good luck anyway.
Cheers.
So Mark Laram sweating. The conditions here, it is so hot. 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Any way you can find to cool down is crucial. But if you're riding, there's not much chance to cool down, and it's an eliminator, so it's getting even hotter now. Andy Smith is in red on the inside, Greg Hancock in blue, Billy Hamill in white, and Rune Holte has to come straight back out, starts up on the outside in yellow.
Yeah, I don't think those outside gates are the ones to be on right now. It's going to be a battle if Rune can do something, but it's the American boys on the inside, and Smudge on the inside makes a terrible start, and the Americans are in 1-2.
Yeah, it's Greg Hancock who's out in front with Billy Hamill in second, and Andy Smith, as you say, made a terrible getaway there, and he's now down at the back. He's been passed by Rune Holte. Holte trying to go around the outside. Smith comes back at him, holds on to third, but for Greg Hancock, it's been an ideal start to this race.
Yeah, he's out in front looking really good now, and Billy just got to secure that second place. It's just the way the track is at the moment. They just got to settle down and make sure that they get to that grand final, and this is the approach that they got to take, and that's hard racing.
So two American former world champions in the top two spots in this race, and they've been hunted down by Andy Smith. Well, he got to this stage in Poland this year. Can he try and go a step further? He's got to find a way past Billy Hamill, and that will not be easy, but he's having a go.
Yeah, just working that inside line as hard as he can. Billy now knows he's got to stay, puts his front wheel right over that white line. That's the safest place. He's probably watched that race before where Mark was having trouble, and Andy's looking up that inside.
So let's see as they come around on this final lap. It's going to be victory for Greg Hancock. Billy Hamill holds on to take second, the two Americans going through. But Andy Smith and Rune Holte, who dropped away at the end there, I'm afraid they're both eliminated. So Greg's pretty happy with that victory, but I'm afraid Rune Holte desperately disappointed. Mechanical problems putting him out of the entire competition. Confirmation of the result, Hancock and Hamill for the United States going through, but Andy Smith and Rune Holte, well, I'm afraid they're eliminated. They're heading home.
So here I am, sandwiched between two American pies. So Greg, all that inner track knowledge is paying off.
Oh yeah, I guess it helps to go around the track one more time and look at different lines and see the conditions. So yeah, it's paying off now.
So you must be happy so far.
I'm really happy. It's a vast improvement from what I've had so far.
I mean, it must be nice that the two of you are kind of doing it together as well, because normally you have to be nasty to one another just because that's the sport.
It's pretty grueling, but I think, you know, we always try to find a mutual respect there. It's a fine line, and, you know, Greg had a great race that time. I was following his lines, and, you know, he had something working, and I was just kind of trying to check it out.
So he was helping you out, really?
Yeah, you know, I mean, he's pretty crafty, so he's not a bad guy to be behind.
You don't want to do that too much, you know.
Oh, that's right. You know, it's likewise. I think from day one, we've always learned from each other, so we're still learning.
Okay, well, good luck, boys. I hope you go through the next stage. Well done, thanks.
Well, they're through to the next stage, but what about Tony Rickardsson? Because he now faces elimination in this next race. It's not often we see Tony in these races. He's on the inside in red. Alongside him is Lucas Trimmel in blue, Todd Welcher, the Australian, in white, and Nicky Patterson up on the outside in yellow. So we know Rickardsson's had problems with his engines, with his bikes. Let's see what happens in the race this time. Away they go, and he tries to get off the line. Rickardsson trying to slot in ahead. He does so, but look at Lucas Trimmel. He's got the tight line coming out. Oh, he can't do anything. He stays in second place.
No, he's just following Tony's line right now up the inside. Looks like Todd's still not very comfortable with the machinery. Carburetor problems in this heat, maybe, but Tony Rickardsson's out in front now, looking really sharp.
Rickardsson finally getting his act together a little bit after a difficult evening so far. Lucas Trimmel looking to go further than he's been in this year's competition. Getting into the next stage would be good news for the 21-year-old Czech. Behind him, it's Todd Welcher, runner-up in Cardiff, but he faces elimination. Third and fourth in this race, and you're out.
You're out. Now's no time to be being in third or fourth, as you say, but Lucas is looking really good here. He's up just battling. There's a bit of a hole up here in the turn 3 right now. I wonder what it's going to do later on, but Tony Rickardsson's looking good.
Rickardsson and Trimmel surely are the two to go through, barring mechanical problems here on the remaining lap, and that means that Todd Welcher and Nicky Patterson are not going to go any further in this competition. That's a bit of a surprise. Rickardsson, though, really experimenting with the track a little bit, using this as experience. He goes through to the next stage. Trimmel finishes in second, but Todd Welcher and Nicky Patterson, their night is over, I'm afraid. Rickardsson can draw a sigh of relief. His championship challenge still on the rails here in Slovenia after a difficult start. Lucas Trimmel also going through, but Todd Welcher and Nicky Patterson, I'm afraid it's all over for them, and that's Todd's worst effort of this year so far. Well, not everybody is quite as wound up about the proceedings down there, but it's a lot of exciting racing still to come. We're not in an eliminator now, it's heat 19. It's got Ryan Sullivan on the inside in red. Tomasz Golov is in blue alongside. Chris Cegelski is alongside him in white. And on the outside, it's Britain's Mark Laram once again, trying to get into the Super 8s for only the second time this year. Off time, Ryan Sullivan on the inside once again gets away well. In blue, Tomasz Golov, watch him, and look at Mark Laram. Mark Laram's come up into second place ahead of Golov, and that's great riding from the British rider, but here comes Golov going back at him.
Golov just knows where to put that back wheel to show that he means business. Now he's squeezed in for second place and pushed out Mark Laram. This is a loaded race. Look at Golov getting the drive over Ryan. This is a perfect gauge to know how things are going for you, and he's looking really good.
Well, Sullivan, of course, winner in Cardiff in the last Grand Prix, but Tomasz Golov is in fine form here tonight. Just maybe now relaxing a little bit. He's in second place. That will see him safely through to the Super 8. Mark Laram has to work a little bit harder, and at the back it's Chris Cegelski. By far the best run of the season so far for the young Polish rider, but not enough to beat this man, Ryan Sullivan.
Who can stop Ryan? Can Tomasz Golov? We'll see. He made a great start. Marvelous effort by Tomasz Golov to get into second position, doing a really fine job on this racetrack. I think there's more to come.
Indeed there is, and it looks like Ryan Sullivan is just going to cruise over the line. He does. So it's Sullivan and Golov that go through to the Super 8s. Cegelski and Laram will have to work for it in their next races.
Tonight on the late edition of Fox Sports News, the ACB says it expects to send a full-strength Australian cricket team to the Champions Trophy in Sri Lanka. Bulldogs legend Steve Mortimer steps in to fill the breach as CEO of the beleaguered club. And Australia's best swimmers prepare to renew the battle with the US for the title of best swim team in the world. All the details of those stories and the rest of the day's sport tonight on the late edition of Fox Sports News at 10:30 Eastern.
A storm is brewing. The world's greatest Speedway stadium is ready. It's finally coming to Australia. The final round of the FIM World Speedway Grand Prix, October 26th at Stadium Australia. No brakes, no gears, no fear. 24 riders from around the world competing for the 2002 World Speedway Championship, October 26th at Stadium Australia. Call Ticketek now. They'll sell you a whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Vodafone 123, Kevin speaking. An optometrist near Docklands who works weekends. Optometrist. Okay, the closest is...
Cheers.
Call 123 with Vodafone and finding out anything you need to know is easy as.
Oh, here we go, it's wrestling time!
Show your colours. Support your team this season with all the latest footy gear, including authentic NRL jerseys.
What a try to kick this one off!
Or choose from a massive range of supporter gear, including team balls, scarves and plenty more. The biggest range of authentic NRL jerseys and supporter gear available at Rebel Sport, the official sporting goods retailer of the NRL. The air fills with anticipation. Cars are rolled out. Drivers are stressed out. The tension puts everyone on razor's edge. But once they're out there for the Sharpie 500, it is the greatest motorsport spectacle in the round. Watch the pit crews go through their paces, aiming for victory for these faces. Live, the Sharpie 500, Sunday morning at 10 on 2.
Welcome back to Slovenia and part 3 of the Speedway Grand Prix. Thomas Golub watches on as 2 Australians flank 2 Swedes in Heat 20. Here's Ben.
Thanks, Julia. We're all set for heat number 20 now. Jason Crump starts on the inside in red. Then the 2 Swedes. It's Michael Carlson in blue and Andreas Jonsson in white. And then the other Australian, Lee Adams, up on the outside in yellow. Now then, let's see what Crumpy can do this time.
Yeah, I sense a little bit of now's the time to make it work, and the Australian boys got a lot to do over Andreas, that's for sure.
Away they go, Jason Crump with the advantage, that's for sure, as well into the first corner. Michael Carlson is second, but round the outside. Look at Andreas Jonsson, and he does it. Oh, that's fantastic. And now it's Crump versus Carlson for second.
What a great corner that Andreas did. Put his back wheel right in that high line, and his fellow Swede, Michael Carlson, has followed him through up the inside of Jason Crump.
Crump, he's down to 3rd place. Well, who would have thought that? And it's the 2 Swedes here are controlling things. Carlson aggressively just blocking Crump. Great riding from the 2 of them. These 2 had a great battle earlier on this evening. They're at it again, and Crump's gone into second this time.
Crump knew where to put the back wheel after getting squeezed out by Michael Carlson, and now he's hunting down Andreas. Andreas is looking fast. Look at that wheelie down that straightaway. Just puts his wheel down and goes into turn 3. Whoa!
Well, Andreas Jonsson riding well. He's had heat victories already this evening. Beat Andy Smith and Todd Wiltshire to get into this race. And now he's in control. He wants to stay there. Jason Crump still in second.
Yeah, Jason's looking good. Michael's just blown it now. He was in a good... Whoa, look at that bump right there. Andreas is battling with that bump. We've seen earlier where Tony hit it a couple times, but he's out and he made it.
Whoa, that was close on the last corner. But congratulations from Jason Crump. Andreas Jonsson, absolutely superb there and showing he is true world class. He's a former under-21 world champion. Now he's threatening the boys who've been around for a little bit longer. Jason Crump pushed back to second, Carlson third, Lee Adams fourth.
So Andreas, you're doing something right tonight. You're beating all the big guns.
It's going really good. I've been missing the fuse. My start from gate 3, that haven't been the best, but I started out really good with good gratings, and now I'm doing good passing, so that's great.
On to heat number 21, and this is an eliminator, Mark Laram. It starts on the inside in red. Lee Adams is in blue, Greg Hancock in white, and Lucas Trimmel up on the outside in yellow. 2 will go through, 2 will go home, but which 2 will it be? Away they go, Mark Laram trying to make the most of that inside gate, but Lee Adams leans down over him. Oh, that was great from Lee Adams, and he's got the advantage, and now Laram's under pressure from Lucas Trimmel.
Well, Mark, as he learned his lesson, he was now battling up the inside. He's got to stay there, and he's putting the pressure on Lee. He realized earlier in that last race that at least the hole for Lucas Trimmel was giving him all that problem. He can't get that up now.
Greg Hancock is at the back. He's having his best run of the season so far, but he really needs something special now. Otherwise, he's going to be out of the competition. The top 2 will go through, and Mark Laram's looking to try and take that top spot.
Yeah, Greg Hancock is really working the track high and wide, trying to get something out of it. If his bike doesn't look as quick as these 2 guys out in front, Lee Adams looking really sharp right now, hitting that bump going into that turn 3. Mark Laram's up the inside, and they're going for a finish.
Well, Lee Adams has been in the Super 8 every time so far this year, and if he can just hold on, he will do so again, even if he finishes second, remember. So there's no point in taking too many risks here, but he wants to win, and it looks like Mark Laran's going to go through with him, but it won't be Lucas Grimmel and Greg Hancock.
Well, Mark Laram's just up the inside, and he just passed Lee Adams.
Whoa, where did that come from?
Well, like I said, I think that inside groove's starting to work for him. He's got his bike set up for that, and it seems to be going.
Great move from Mark Laram on the last bend there to take the victory. So much for settling for second, but both Mark Laram and Lee Adams making it through. The other two, I'm afraid, are out.
So well done, nifty little manoeuvre there. Right, pip to the post, Mr. Adams.
Yeah, I was getting a good ride around the inside, and I thought I moved out earlier and it was losing ground, so I stuck around the inside and it paid off.
I thought, why not?
That's right, yeah, I mean, you've got to do what you can. I'm not giving up.
Absolutely, I hope not. I'm counting on it.
Righto.
On to Heat 22, another eliminator now. Michael Carlson in red. Chris Cegelski is in blue. Then it's Tony Rickardson for the second time tonight. He's in an eliminator. Billy Hamill up on the outside. He'll be tough to beat as well, starting in yellow, and he's yet to reach a grand final this year.
It's all tough out there, Ben. These guys know they got to let the clutch out quick.
Away they go, Michael Carlson trying to get ahead of Chris Cegelski, and Rickardson actually pulling a wheelie as he comes around the first turn, and Rickardson's down in third, and third means you're heading home. He's got to do something here to get into the Super 8, and here comes Rickardson up into second place, and now beginning to chase down Michael Carlson.
Whoa, whoa, it's getting hot. It's hotter out there. Michael's doing well. The Polski, Cegelski's trying to secure second, but the battle's on.
Here comes Rickardson, second place, but with Cegelski behind him, but not behind him for long, because again, Chris Cegelski riding out of his skin here tonight, and he's keeping the world champion behind him.
And Tony comes back for more on the outside. The race is on.
Well, maybe it's over now because he gets in front of Cegelski, shuts him down. It's Michael Carlson up front, Rickardson into that important second place, and Cegelski and Billy Hamill are looking at elimination here.
Yeah, Tony's experience paid off. He worked Cegelski in that race earlier, and he's done it again. He's now going to follow Michael Carlson, the fellow Swede, in for second.
So Michael Carlson makes it through. So does Tony Rickardson, the two Swedes, making it safely into the Super 8s, the semi-finals. Oh, that really got the heart pumping quickly. Tony Rickardson nearly didn't make it through, but in the end he was able to beat off Cegelski. Cegelski and Hamill are heading home. Oh, Billy disappointed, obviously, after that. It's the way it goes at this level of Speedway. If you're not on it, you're out. Jason Crump, Ryan Sullivan, Mark Laran, Tony Rickardson will line up together in the first semi, with Adams, Johnson, Golub and Carlson in the second.
Tony, what a semi-final.
I have too much other problems tonight. I don't have time to look who I'm racing against. I'm just happy to get out there on time.
Yeah, you've had a lot of trouble with the bike, and you've got a bad gate draw as well.
It's the best one, I'll show you.
Okay.
Well, always the pro Rickardson, obviously in a hurry, but always prepared to share a word as he gets ready for the semi. And here he is now coming out. He's in yellow up on the outside for this one. Jason Crump on the inside in red. Cardiff winner Ryan Sullivan is in blue, and Britain's Mark Laran is in white. Two riders to make it through to the grand final, but this lineup worthy of the final itself. Jason Crump, well, he's had one heat victory tonight so far, could do with this one. Needs to reach the final, both he and Rick. Oh, no! And there's been a jump. Now, what happened there, Sam?
Oh, it just kind of looked like Jason just kind of anticipated a little bit and then let the clutch go. What a shame.
Jason Crump with that ideal starting position. Take another look. Yeah, it was definitely the Australian on the inside there who went first. And what does that mean? That means he's excluded.
That is not good. Look, he's showing his anger from that. That was his own mistake. He's just trying a little bit too hard. Tough competition out there. You're on the inside, the best gate. What a shame to lose it.
No way to describe how he must be feeling. Blown the chance of getting into the grand final, and he needed to keep the pressure on Ryan Sullivan and Rickardson, the joint series leaders.
Boy, the pressure's on these guys just from the facial expressions of Jason, and this guy worried about it.
Jason, I know you don't want to talk to the cameras, but can you describe how you're feeling without swearing?
Pretty bad.
Just completely frustrated, I imagine.
Just made a mess of it, you know, and that's life.
Who do you feel worse for, you or the mechanics or the team?
I feel pretty bad for everybody, you know, but like I had a great chance there, gate one in the semi-final, and just blew it.
Okay, good luck. Better luck next time we meet.
So for the second event in succession, Jason doesn't make it through to the grand final, and the rerun now of this semi-final sees Ryan Sullivan, Mark Laram and Tony Rickardson ready to do battle. Away they go then in blue. Ryan Sullivan gets a great getaway once again. Mark Laram in white and Rickardson trying to go around the outside here.
Oh, Tony Rickardson, some fishing up in that high line, trying to get the speed up over Mark Laram. Mark Laram's learned his lesson earlier on, staying on the inside. Let's see what's going to develop in this race now.
Well, Ryan Sullivan, winner of all his heats so far this evening, once again getting superbly well off the line. But Mark Laram riding beautifully in second place, and he's keeping Tony Rickardson behind him. And Rickardson now facing the fact that he might not get into the final here in Slovenia.
What a shame we don't have Jason Crump. This race would have been really hot and sizzling out there, but Mark Laram's doing a good job for second place. Ryan Sullivan looking great. Superb ride out in front.
The two series leaders are in this race, Ryan Sullivan and Tony Rickardson. But in the points, this is going to help Sullivan so much. He's going to make it into the final. And unless Rickardson does something really special, he's not going to be able to get into the final tonight.
It looks like to me this guy's going home earlier than he wants it.
Well, what a chance this is for Sullivan. He's seen Crump go out of a chance to get in the final. And now Rickardson's not in the final either. But Ryan Sullivan is. He won last time in Cardiff. And that form is with him again tonight in Slovenia. But Mark Laram, a superb second place. What about him? Maybe he can take his first win in the Grand Prix series in around 3 years. Rickardson is out.
Well, you know, there's so many things that happened tonight, you know, that's part of the motor racing sport, you know, and blowing ending up on the warm-up 10 minutes before the race, and then the second bikes we had a bit of a crash with Scotty Nichols, I think it was, yeah, right, we bent the frame up, and it was one of these meetings, drawing bad gate positions, you know, but that's part of the racing, you know, and nothing you can do about it. You just go home and try to prepare a little bit better for next time.
Well, it's all happening in Slovenia. It's still hot and the competition is as intense as ever. Lee Adams is in red for the second semi-final. Andreas Jonsson alongside him in blue. Then Tomasz Golob in white and Michael Carlsen up on the outside in yellow. Now, all four of these riders have been on fire this evening. Which two are going to go through? I have no idea, Sam.
The pressure's up right now. Let's hope they don't make a mistake like Crumpy did.
Away they go. Lee Adams not making the best of the inside gate. It's Andreas Jonsson in blue who gets away. And watch Tomasz Golob in white. Now trying to get past the Australian Lee Adams for second place.
What a superb start for young Andreas, but he's got one of the guys that wants to win on the outside. Lee just moves out a little bit. Here comes Thomas up the inside.
Tomasz Golob moves into second, and Lee Adams surely will come back at him. Adams has such a consistent record so far this year, yet to take a Grand Prix victory, but he hasn't seemed to have an answer here. Michael Carlsen is at the back. That's a surprise as well, but you've got to have somebody at the back in this quality of field, and it's Andreas Jonsson, the youngster, the 21-year-old, who's showing them all how to do it.
And style as well. To beat Tomasz Golob on a track that's tailor-made for him has got to be an accomplishment in itself. He's doing really well.
Yeah, but Golub's not finished yet. Just keep an eye on this man in second place. He's third in the championship. Now, what is he doing here, Sam? Is he just saving this second?
Yeah, he looked over his shoulder right there. I think he's comfortable. Andreas hit that hole that's going into turn 3 again.
Yeah, he likes that one, doesn't he? But it doesn't matter. He's taken the victory in the second semi-final. Andreas Jonsson and Tomasz Golob go through to the grand final. That's the first time that Andreas Jonsson has made it through to the final. Fantastic for him. But bad luck, I'm afraid, for Lee Adams and Michael Carlsen. They're not into the grand final this time. They're heading home now.
Number 5, Lee Adams. So, Lee, feelings on tonight? Generally happy? I mean, obviously not the perfect ending.
You know what, it's so tough now. You've got to be finishing in A-finals, really, to get the points, because there's such a leap up to the A-final. But, you know, we're in the top 8, I guess, and it was okay. Nothing special. We should have made more of that semi, but that's the way it goes.
Well, we had a little chat with Ryan Sullivan earlier on, and he said that he likes to listen to music to focus on a race and, you know, really get himself programmed to win. So I wonder what he's listening to now. A little bit of Dido, do you think?
Well, I don't know about that, Julia. He looks pretty serious, pretty focused. It might be something a little heavier than Dido. But we're all ready for the final. So is Ryan Sullivan. Can he make it 2 wins in a row? But a huge amount of competition here. Let's take a look at the lineup. Mark Laram's on the inside of Sullivan. Laram in red, Sullivan in blue. Then it's Tomasz Golob, who's been on fire all evening. And then the young superstar, Andreas Jonsson. Now, this time he has to start on the outside.
He's got to gain that vital experience, and what place to be in is gate 4, the hardest one. If he can pull this off, he'll be a hero.
Here we go then, the grand final in Slovenia. Away they go, Mark Laram trying to get away. But in blue, it's Ryan Sullivan, who cuts in front once again. And it's Laram in second place now. Can he do anything about it? Behind him is Golob. Here comes Golob. Oh, look at Tomasz Golob. Almost took the lead there from Ryan Sullivan. Brilliant move from the Polish rider.
Ryan Sullivan made another superb start, but he's got somebody that wants this final on his tail. Mark Laram is in there. Tomasz Golob.
Well, here comes Golob again. Look at this. He's riding so aggressively. And Ryan Sullivan knows he's got a real battle on his hands to try and take his second win. Looks over his shoulder, but Golub's not there. He's somewhere else. He's moving around so much.
It's a cat-and-mouse game right now. Can Ryan hold off this guy? He wants it. He's moving up high now. He's going wide. He's showing his colors on the outside. Ryan's on the inside.
You can almost feel the fear from Ryan Sullivan. He knows how hard Golob is pushing. But this is a new Ryan Sullivan. This is a confident Ryan Sullivan after winning in Cardiff. He feels he can control the situation.
And there goes Golob around the outside.
Here comes Golob. Is he going to take his second win of the year? Or is Ryan Sullivan going to do it? Across, oh, I don't know who did it.
Oh, how could you call that? Ryan's already celebrating. That was too close to call, man. Too close.
Well, Golob thinks he's won it as well. Sullivan thinks he's won it. Golob thinks he's won it. Who did win it?
Let's watch. The front wheel's up in the air. Golub's trying to hold it down. Puts his leg out to keep it down. He's trying to push it down. Ryan's on the outside. Oh, still too close to call.
We needed the other view here, I think. Let's take a look. Again, we've got a slight angle on it. And I think it's the Australian. I think in blue it's Ryan Sullivan who just managed to sneak it. Confirmation of that. Yes, indeed, it was Sullivan. The referee having to look at it quite closely, but it's Sullivan who takes his second win of the year ahead of Tomasz Golob.
I'm well happy with third place after my first couple of rides. A bit unsettled, so I'm happy with that.
It's been a pretty good night for you.
Yeah, not bad. Keep plugging away. That's the idea. You know, don't give up.
Another podium slot, that's what we want.
Absolutely. Keep doing that for the other load, and I should be up there somewhere.
Well, Mark Laram having a great night tonight, but it's Ryan Sullivan who's taken his second win in a row. And look at that, a 12-point lead he now has over the 4-times champion Rickardsson.
Thomas, you were pushing him, huh?
It's good hit. Ryan is very fast. A quick start in good chrono. Was outside, inside, outside, inside. I think I'm first in the meta. I don't know, it's Sullivan first, it's no problem.
You're pleased with second?
Very happy. It's 20 points, yeah.
Yep.
Ryan fast and the more points. I think so. It's world champion this year.
Congratulations, well done, Thomas.
Thank you.
Okay. So Ryan, I watched you just before the race. You were focused. You were listening to music. You were reading something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I mean, been doing a lot of mental training, and I was pumped before that one, and felt confident in the bike, and I knew it was going good, and I was making good starts. I knew I could do it, but Thomas pushed me a lot harder than what I expected.
What does it feel like second time around?
Even better.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good, you know. A few of the other boys dropped points, and it just pulls me clear again a little bit more, so it's nice.
Now, you're on a no drinking rule right now, but, you know, you might just let yourself have a little tipple tonight?
No, nothing. I'm racing tomorrow, so it's definitely nothing.
Well, what a night, Sam.
Yeah, that's right. I tell you what, it's not over yet. This is just a perfect combination to know if you're an underdog at the moment, you still got a chance. We're not even halfway into the series.
Just got to keep on watching.
Well, what a sensational night's racing. A back-to-back win then for Ryan Sullivan. I think it might have been that drink that we shared together in the pool. Join us next time from Sweden. Somehow I think that those Super Swedes have got something to prove, especially Tony Rickardsson. Don't miss it. Bye-bye.
Speedway, not part of the dream.